They say the 7-year itch is a real thing, but I never bought it. When the love is gone, it's just gone. That's what my ex-wife told me the day she decided to leave. I believed her. So why, after I agreed to the divorce, are you on your knees, crying and begging me to take you back? 7 years. Do you have any idea what my life has been like for the past 7 years? It was late when Chloe Anderson stumbled through the door, reeking of cheap booze. She shoved away the glass of water and aspirin I was holding out for her voice a raw snarl. It had all started with a phone call from a friend an hour earlier. He told me that Chloe, my wife, the woman I'd legally married last month, had abruptly quit her job. I was stunned. I was the one who got her that job, a personal favor from her own father. Chloe had just graduated, zero experience, no shot at a major firm. But for her, my girlfriend at the time, I had pulled every string I had. I'd sent gift baskets, called in favors, endured countless schmoozy dinners, and practically begged on my hands and knees. And she just quit, without even talking to me? I'd only called to ask why. And that's when I found out where she was, at a bar, drinking with some guy I'd never met. I was furious. I told her to come home immediately. 3 hours later, here she was. So what if I went out for a drink? So what if there was a guy I didn't know? I'm a grown woman, Ben. I'm sick of having a curfew like I'm some teenager. Chloe's face was twisted in a sneer, but I couldn't see a trace of real hurt in her eyes. I stared at her, my mind reeling. This was Chloe, the woman I'd married, the woman whose wedding I was planning in 2 short months. Why was she saying these things to me? I tried to keep my voice steady. Well, have I ever given you a curfew? It was about that guy. I've seen him before. I know he's... You know what? You don't know anything, she screamed, cutting me off. Her eyes, cold as ice, locked onto mine. Ben, 7 years. We've been together for 7 years, and for every single one of them, you've managed me, lectured me, controlled me. Everything I do has to be planned by you. I do what you say, I go where you tell me, she continued, her voice rising. Well, I have a question for you. Why? Why should I listen to you? Why do you get to control my life? Who the hell do you think you are? You're just a guy I signed a piece of paper with at the courthouse. We haven't even had the wedding yet. And that job today, she spat. You pulled strings, called in favors, all to get your wife a job? We weren't even married then. What gave you the right to call me your wife? Yeah, the job was great. 80 grand a year right out of college. But you know what? I need freedom. Don't you know that about me? I can't be chained to a desk all day. I just can't. Then who the hell's fault is that? The roar ripped out of my own throat, surprising me. I staggered back, grabbing the arm of the new sofa we'd picked out together, the one that had just been delivered to our condo. Her voice from years ago echoed in my head, a cruel ghost. Oh, Benny, you're so good to me. I love it when you take charge. I love how you spoil me. Is it true? You'll really take care of everything, so I don't have to worry. You treat me like a princess, Benny. You're gonna spoil me rotten. I love you, Ben Carter. Back then, her voice wasn't cold. Her expression was never this ugly. Are you yelling at me? Chloe's rage suddenly dissolved into a theatrical display of hurt. 7 years. She actually dabbed at the corner of her eye. You have never, not once, used that tone with me. She was right. In 7 years, I'd never raised my voice. I'd never even said a harsh word to her. So how, exactly, had I been controlling her? Looking at her now, my heart felt like it was being shredded, but anger was burning through me, hot and fast. Still, the memories of 7 years of good times, of laughter and love, flooded my mind. I took a deep breath, trying to cage my emotions. Chloe, you're drunk. You're upset. Let's just cool down. We can talk about this in the morning. I'm perfectly sober. Her voice turned sharp and icy again. All the love was gone from her eyes, replaced by a chilling emptiness. I'm telling you, Ben, I've had enough, she declared. You love playing the father figure, managing everyone's lives, right? Well, guess what? This girl is done being managed. Quitting my job today was me making a decision. My own decision. She took a step back, her chin held high. So, Ben, look at a divorce. What? The word shot through me like a bullet. I stared at her, unable to process it. Chloe, what are you talking about? Our wedding is in 2 months. We've been together for 7 years, but we only did the courthouse wedding last month. The big ceremony was 2 months away. She'd said she had cold feet, that she wasn't ready to be a wife in front of everyone. I respected her wishes completely. But now it hit me. It was right after we signed those papers at City Hall that she started to change. She started pulling away, like she was looking for an escape route. Don't do this, okay? Please, I begged, a last desperate flicker of hope in my chest. I opened my arms, wanting to hold her. I know you're angry. I know you're just saying things you don't mean. We'll get past this. The wedding is in 2 months. The invitations are already out. We can't just, why not? That simple question, uttered so casually, shattered the last of my self-delusion. When one person in a relationship starts asking, why? Is there even a relationship left? Chloe looked at me, her voice flat, as if our marriage was nothing more than a game. Why do I have to have a wedding with you in 2 months? Is that your decision to make? So what if we sign some papers? Why should I marry someone who's more interested in controlling me than loving me? I listened to her accusations, staring at her blankly. I started to doubt myself. I tried to shield her from danger. I tried to protect her from the harsh realities of life. I tried to stop her from making choices she would inevitably regret. Was all of that wrong? My own certainty began to crumble. Did I really control her for all these years, seeing my pained silence? Maybe a flicker of pity crossed her face. Or maybe she, too, remembered the good times. Look, she said, her tone softening slightly. How about this? I'll give you one more chance. If you, right now, take me to a bar, we'll get wasted, drink until dawn, then I won't divorce you. How about it? Should I have grabbed the opportunity? Thanked her for her mercy. Instead, I laughed. A hollow, mirthless sound that made my hands tremble. Because I knew. She knew. She remembered perfectly well that to get her that job, I'd spent 3 straight nights entertaining clients, drinking so much cheap whiskey that I ended up in the hospital with a bleeding ulcer. She had sat by my bedside, holding my hand, tears streaming down her face as she whispered, "I love you," over and over again. She knew exactly what she was asking. I didn't answer. Chloe smirked. "You're not going to do it, are you?" she said, her voice dripping with condescending certainty. "I know you too well. You don't want me out drinking late at night, all under the guise of it's for your own safety. The truth is, you just hate drinking, and you hate people who drink. Well, now I drink, so you must hate me too. Why are you still fighting this divorce?" She was right. I did hate drinking. Always have. The irony was almost comical. The thing I despised most was what put me in the hospital. Just like the situation now. I felt like a pathetic clown. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. When I opened them again, my gaze was as calm and clear as still water. "Fine. If this is what you've decided, let's get a divorce." "Really?" A flash of genuine excitement lit up her face. She even pumped her fist. "Yes." She threw her head back and laughed, a sound of pure elation. "I'm free. I'm finally free. Ha 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 ha." She looked so happy, happier than she ever did when she was clinging to my arm, telling me she loved me. Was it really my need for control that pushed her to this? I didn't know. But strangely, a part of me felt a sliver of guilt and relief. If this would make her happy, then maybe it was for the best. Back then, there wasn't any mandatory cooling-off period for divorces. The next day, Chloe and I walked out of the county courthouse, each of us holding a freshly printed divorce decree. I was about to offer a final, quiet goodbye when she suddenly ran, certificate in hand, and threw herself into the arms of another man. She was giddy, triumphant. "I'm free, Mark. I'm finally free. No more helicopter boyfriend. I can finally go out and have some fun. Ha ha ha." A sharp, stabbing pain shot through my chest. As I stared, the man, Mark, looked back at me over her shoulder. He held Chloe, who was my wife just yesterday, and a smug, provocative smile played on his lips. His mouth moved, forming words I couldn't hear but could read perfectly. He mouthed, "Thank you. You son of a bitch." I don't know where the strength came from, but I lunged forward, my fist flying. Chloe screamed, trying frantically to pull me off him. "Ben, what are you doing?" "He's just a friend," she shrieked. "And we're divorced now." In the end, he went to the hospital, and I went to the police station. Later, someone I never expected to see again came to bail me out. Outside the precinct, I stared at the person in front of me, a tomboy in a loose-fitting flannel and jeans. "Alex, what are you doing here? Where's Leo?" When the cops told me to call someone, I naturally dialed my best friend, Leo. I never expected the person who showed up would be a girl I hadn't spoken to in nearly 5 years. Her name was Alex Chun. Alex didn't answer my question. Instead, she just looked me up and down and said, "You've changed." I felt a little embarrassed, but I couldn't resist a comeback. "You want to talk? Last I remember, you had a buzz cut and looked ready to fight anyone who looked at you wrong. Now your hair's past your shoulders." Even with the long hair, her tomboy style sent me right back to our childhood. I'd known Alex a lot longer than I'd known Chloe. But with her vibe, we were always just one of the guys. Then, I started dating Chloe. I still hung out with my friends, but when Chloe found out Alex was a girl, she got jealous. "Men and women can't have a purely platonic friendship," she'd insisted. To prove my loyalty, she said, I had to cut Alex out of my life completely. I did it, and Alex, like the good friend she was, understood. Thinking about it now, it made me laugh, a bitter, hollow sound. That was rich. "Men and women can't be friends," Chloe had said. So what was that line she screamed yesterday? "He's just a friend." I shook my head, pushing the memory away. Chloe and I were divorced. There was no reason for me to stay away from Alex anymore. Feeling guilty, I offered to buy her dinner. On the way, Alex told me that Leo was on a trip to wine country with his wife. The fact that I didn't even know my best friend was on vacation hit me hard. I realized that ever since my hospital stay for the ulcer, I cut myself off from almost everyone, pouring every ounce of my energy into Chloe. A strange thought surfaced. Chloe said I controlled her. But who, or what, had been controlling me? Alex picked the place, a classic dive bar on a side street. We sat at a rickety table they'd set up on the sidewalk. I instinctively pulled out my phone, looking for a QR code to scan the menu. Alex snatched it out of my hand. "Whoa there, mister. Big shot," she said with a grin. "How long has it been since you've been to a place like this? Where do you think you're going to find a QR code here?" She then casually turned and yelled toward the bar. "Hey, Rick, can we get a couple menus and a pen? We'll write it down." I couldn't help but smile sheepishly. Right. Chloe was never about the food, only the high-end, Instagrammable experience. So we usually just... I trailed off, my expression stiffening at the mention of her name. But Alex just laughed. "You call those influencer traps a high-end experience? Real fancy places don't make you scan a damn code." For some reason, her words made me want to laugh too. A genuine, happy laugh that seemed to wash away some of the divorce's sting. After we ordered, Alex got straight to the point. "So, you and Chloe, you really did it. You think I'm faking?" After all, she was the one who bailed me out. She must have found the whole story. I pulled the divorce decree from my jacket pocket. "I've got the papers to prove it," I said with mock pride. Alex burst out laughing. I laughed with her, but just then, my phone buzzed with a notification. My eyes narrowed. The message was from a name I now recognized all too well. Mark. I definitely remember that name. The guy I'd sent to the hospital. But how did he get my number? I don't know what possessed me, but with a sense of morbid curiosity, I opened the message. He'd sent me a damn essay. It started with 2 words, "Hey, Carter." My fingers tightened on my phone. First time hearing that. How's it feel? You're probably wondering why I didn't press charges today. Consider it my way of repaying a debt of gratitude. My watch. Your wife bought it. My phone. Your wife bought it. All my bar tabs for the last few months. All paid for by your wife. So I really have to thank you, Carter. Reading those lines, I felt my world collapse. Chloe and him. They'd been together all along? I thought Chloe was a naive girl, but I had no idea she was this dumb. I could tell you really loved her. Gave her the best of everything. But she didn't appreciate it, man. Honestly, if I were a woman, I'd be all over a good guy like you. But hey, what a shame. I can't be a woman, so I guess I'll just have to take yours instead. Winky face, don't worry though, Carter. This chick is too easy. After I'm done playing with her, I'll send her back to you. And one last time, thanks again, Carter. The message ended with a photo attached. It was Chloe, dancing on top of a bar table, wild and unrestrained. BM. I slammed my palm down on the table, not caring who saw. What's wrong? The sudden movement startled Alex. She snatched my phone, just like she used to when we were kids, and read the screen. That bastard. Her reaction was even more explosive than mine. "You wait here. I'm gonna go teach him a lesson." She shot up from her seat, grabbed the metal chair she'd been sitting on, and looked ready to march out. I jumped up and grabbed her arm. "Hey, hold on. You just got me out of holding cell." "What? You want me to return the favor and bail you out already?" After a moment, she cooled down, but she still pointed at the phone in disbelief. "Is he talking about Chloe?" I nodded grimly. Alex shook her head. "Wow, I never would have guessed. That little princess really put on a good act." Seeing her so fired up on my behalf, I actually smiled. Noticing my smile, Alex looked confused. "You're in the middle of all this, and you can still smile?" I shrugged. "Guess some things never change. You've got long hair now, but you're still the same hothead. How are you ever going to find a husband?" She waved a dismissive hand. "If I want to get married, I would have done it years ago. You think I'd still be waiting around now?" This easy, playful bickering with a friend. I hadn't realized how much I'd missed it. Just then, our drinks arrived. I instinctively reached for a beer, but Alex slapped my hand away. "Don't even think about it," she said with a scowl. "If I didn't know you'd recovered okay these past few years, I wouldn't have even brought you to a greasy spoon like this. You want a beer? Dream on." I remember my ulcer. I'd already cut ties with Alex for half a year by the time I was hospitalized. And yet, she still remembered. A couple of beers later, Alex was a lot more talkative. With a complete lack of subtlety, she asked, "So, spill it. How did you and Chloe end up divorced? You just got married last month, right? Don't give me that 7-year itch crap." I didn't see any reason to hide it. She initiated it. Said I controlled her too much for 7 years, that she'd lost her freedom. Call me a helicopter boyfriend, or something. Said she couldn't take it anymore. Puffed. This time Alex actually spit out her beer. She stared at me. her expression a mix of shock and amusement. You? A helicopter boyfriend? You can't even take care of yourself. How are you helicoptering anyone? Her words left me stunned. Alex, now on a roll, launched into stories from our childhood. Back then, I was the follower. I never made plans, never had a grand scheme. Whatever anyone else was doing, I'd just tag along. And that anyone else was usually Alex. She was the leader, the boss. I loved it. Someone else was in charge, which meant I didn't have to worry about a thing. So when did that change? When did I start feeling the need to take care of Chloe like that? To shoulder every single one of her burdens, her daily life, her meals, her clothes, her career, until it all rested on me. And in the end, what did I get for it? All for nothing. It was true. I really had changed. I shook my head, laughing at myself. Seeing my expression, Alex waved her hand. Hey, don't get all emo on me just because I said a few things. It's no big deal. As she spoke, she reached out and gently poked my forehead, a grin playing on her lips. Relax. Hubby's here. A profound sense of security washed over me. It was the same feeling of reassurance I had tried to give Chloe for all those years. Ugh. While was I thinking about Chloe again, I smiled and shook my head, forcing her name from my thoughts. I picked up my root beer and drained it in one go. The next few days were more liberating than I could have imagined. I only had myself to worry about. I didn't have to prep Chloe's lunch or remind her which containers were microwave safe. I didn't have to lie awake worrying about where she was or what she was doing. I was finally getting my own life back. My old friends, too. After work, we could hang out, relax. And Alex, after 5 years of silence, started dropping by my place. This new life made me feel like I'd wasted the last 7 years. Until the 4th day, I never expected to get a message from Chloe. Ha ha ha. Ben, I'm having the time of my life. You controlled me for 7 years, told me what I could and couldn't do. Well, I've finally found true happiness. No one's telling me to eat less ice cream anymore. Wish me luck. Attached was a picture of her holding a giant ice cream cone, a wide smile on her face. I glanced at the calendar. It was that time of the month for her. Not my problem anymore. I thought that would be the end of it. But the next morning, another message was waiting. Ben, see this? It's 2 in the morning. Mark and I are still out clubbing. I made so many new friends. You must be furious, right? Too bad you can't tell me what to do anymore. This one came with a group photo. It was Chloe, Mark, and a few other guys and girls. They all looked pale and rail-thin, with cheap tattoos and badly dyed hair. I was angry, not because I was worried about Chloe, but because she had absolutely no sense of boundaries. We were divorced, for God's sake. Right then and there, I blocked her on everything. The world went quiet. For 3 days, I wasn't harassed by Chloe once. The smile on my face felt more and more genuine. Today, I'd invited Alex over for dinner. I got up early to head out for groceries. But when I pulled open my front door, I saw a figure who had no business being there. Chloe. She was standing there, fidgeting with her clothes, and looked startled when the door opened. She was dressed in the same outfit she'd worn on the day of our divorce, carrying the purse I'd bought her, wearing the shoes I'd bought her. Before I could even process what was happening, she pushed past me, walking into my apartment as if she owned the place. Hubby, is breakfast ready? I'm starving, she chirped. Hubby? Did she just call me hubby? We'd signed divorce papers just a few days ago. Her casual act was so jarring it almost made me question my own reality. But as she stepped over the threshold, my senses returned. I grabbed her by the shoulders and firmly pushed her back out into the hallway. My voice was as cold as hers had been the night she'd asked for a divorce. Chloe, are you insane? We're divorced. What are you doing here? Her demeanor instantly soured. So what if we're divorced? Who says I can't come see you? She shot back. Besides, I lived in this place for years. Can't I come home? Then, like she was flipping a switch, her tone softened again. Come on, hubby. Just think of it as me throwing a little tantrum, okay? Forgive me. She tried to step forward again, a forced smile plastered on her face. But all I could see were the images Mark had sent me, the pictures she had sent me. I pushed her back again, more forcefully this time. Chloe, get a grip. When we divorced, we agreed. You keep the engagement ring. You keep all the gifts I ever bought you. But this condo, I bought with my own money before we were ever married. It's my property, and it has nothing to do with you. So, you are not welcome here. Ben Carter. Her voice became a sharp, piercing shriek. I'm warning you, don't push it. I looked at her, my expression unmoved. In what position are you in to warn me about anything? Chloe bit her lip, her eyes welling up with tears. She took a deep breath, her voice dropping to a pathetic, pleading whisper. Benny, we've known each other for 10 years, right? We were together for 7. Can you really be this heartless? This was just a stupid fight, the 7-year itch. You didn't really take it seriously, did you? Heartless? I wanted to crack open her head and see what was inside. Who was the heartless one here? Seriously? The divorce decree was sitting in my desk drawer. What was real and what was fake anymore? I remained impassive. 7 years, I said coolly. I seem to recall you telling me, on the day we decided to get divorced, that you don't believe in the 7-year itch. That when the love is gone, it's just gone. Funny how you're bringing it up now. Chloe's body trembled slightly as tears began to stream down her face. I didn't give her a moment's pause. 7 years? Weren't you the one who said I controlled you? That I suffocated you? Weren't you dying to escape? And what about those messages you sent me a few days ago? Weren't you celebrating your freedom? What happened? Did you decide you want to fly back into my cage? Don't you want to be free anymore? Chloe bit her lip, her expression one I could read like a book. In just a few days, her so-called freedom had shown her exactly what it cost. Now, she was remembering how good she'd had it with me. Too bad. It was too late. But she pressed on. Benny, stop pretending. I know you're still mad at me, right? But I also know you still love me. You're willing to give me another chance. Otherwise, why haven't you called the venue to cancel the wedding? I know you're waiting for me to come back, aren't you? I hadn't canceled the wedding. That was true. The day after the divorce, Alex had seen how overwhelmed I was at the thought of explaining it all to my parents. She suggested I take a few days to get my head straight before breaking the news. I couldn't believe it. That small delay had given Chloe hope. She was completely delusional. Just as I was about to crush that delusion, a female voice came from behind her. Because that's going to be my wedding with Ben. The voice was so unexpected that even I was surprised. But I immediately recognized who it was. Who else could it be but Alex? I'd invited her over for dinner, so it was perfectly normal for her to show up. Today, she was in her usual tomboy attire, long-sleeve shirt and jeans, but she'd pulled her long hair back into a sleek ponytail, giving her a sharp, capable look. Chloe jumped at the sound of the voice and spun around. She didn't recognize Alex at first. Who are you? What does my husband's business have to do with you? Alex just chuckled at the question. She walked right past Chloe to my side, then turned to face her with me. Your husband? She said, an eyebrow raised. If I remember correctly, you and Ben are divorced. And since you're divorced, you should probably stop embarrassing yourself at your ex-husband's front door. Let me be perfectly clear, Alex continued, her voice firm. Ben is my fiancé now, and the wedding in 2 months is for me and Ben. Then, to my complete and utter shock, Alex looped her arm through mine, looked up at me, and asked, Right, honey? I don't know why, but hearing the word honey from Alex made my heart skip a beat. As kids, I'd sometimes imagine what it would be like, but the thought of tomboy Alex calling me that always made me cringe. But now, with it actually happening, I was flustered. Alex must have noticed my stunned silence. For a split second, and maybe I imagined it, I thought I saw a blush creep across the face of this tough, confident woman. She gave my arm a sharp pinch. I knew Chloe was still watching. Acting on pure instinct, I wrapped my arm around Alex's waist and nodded. That's right. In 2 months, it's my wedding to Alex. Alex, the name made Chloe pause. Wait, I remember you. You're that guy friend I made him cut ties with. She looked like she just solved a puzzle. Ben, she's an actress, isn't she? A shield you hired to make me jealous. Ha ha. I figured it out, didn't I? Her tone immediately softened again. She reached out and grabbed my other arm. Hubby, don't be like this. I know I was wrong. Let's go back to how we were, okay? Just send this woman away, please. The only one leaving is you, I said, shaking her hand off me. Chloe was right. Alex was acting as my shield. And maybe because I'd been caught, I felt a surge of nervous energy. I decided to double down. I don't know what came over me. What devil possessed me in that moment? I turned, cupped Alex's face in my hands, and kissed her. The world went silent. My eyes were closed. I had no idea what expression was on Chloe's face or on Alex's. All I knew was I was dead. With Alex's temper, there was no way I was getting out of this without a black eye. I don't know how long we stood there, but eventually I felt a tap on my back. I opened my eyes to see Alex's wide eyes staring right into mine. I quickly pulled back, putting some space between us. Alex finally took a breath, gasping for air. That's when I noticed Chloe was gone. Where did she go? I asked instinctively. Alex's first reaction wasn't to punch me. She left a minute ago, she said, her voice a little shaky. Did she say anything? I asked, confused. Oh yeah, Alex said, rolling her neck. She then adopted a high-pitched, dramatic voice, perfectly mimicking Chloe. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You just wait, Ben Carter. You'll regret this. I'll be waiting for you to come crawling back to me. And then she stormed off. Alex finished with a shrug. Hearing her words, I felt a strange sense of finality. Alex just looked at me. What? Feeling bad for her? She can't be that far. You could probably still catch her. Are you crazy? Why would I do that? I scoffed. Then I saw Alex break into a small smile. Good. Now I'm starving. Are you going to buy groceries or not? Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten. I scrambled into the elevator, and only when the doors were closing did a terrifying thought occur to me. Why hadn't she hit me? If I wasn't mistaken, that was her first kiss. How could she have no reaction at all? While shopping, I was convinced it was just the calm before the storm. But surprisingly, all through my return, the cooking, the dinner, and even when I walked her to the door, Alex acted as if nothing had happened. She never mentioned the kiss once. I breathed a huge sigh of relief. I dodged a bullet, and I felt certain that after a stunt like that, Chloe would finally give up. But I was wrong. The next day, she was at my door again. It was barely dawn when my doorbell started ringing incessantly. I opened the door to find Chloe standing there, holding bags of breakfast from a local diner, soy milk, donuts, bagels. I was already grumpy from being woken up, and seeing her made it worse. Are you kidding me? You again? Get lost. But Chloe completely ignored my hostile attitude, smiling sweetly. Hubby, I brought you breakfast. You always used to make it for me in the morning. Now, it's my turn to take care of you, okay? Get out. I slammed the door in her face. She didn't ring the bell again, but I could hear her muffled sobs through the door. I didn't care. The third day, she came back, this time with a thermos. Hubby, I know you don't like takeout. I made this myself. It's my first time, but I practiced for a long time. Why don't you just try it? This time, I didn't even say a word. I just shut the door. The fourth day, the fifth, the sixth. She came every single day. Once, she even showed up wearing a plaid skirt, reminiscent of her high school uniform, desperately trying to trigger some nostalgic memory. But none of it mattered. The moment I saw her throw herself into Mark's arms, holding that divorce certificate, was the moment it was all over for me. I was, however, curious. What could have happened to make her regret her decision so quickly? I reached out to a few of Chloe's friends. They told me that Mark, the guy who was supposed to lead her to a life of freedom, had disappeared the moment her money ran out. I already knew that part. Mark had basically told me himself. As for how her money ran out so fast, it turned out her new friends from the bar had conned her out of most of it. On top of that, her chaotic lifestyle had wrecked her health. She'd messed up her cycle by eating all that ice cream, and now she was suffering from cramps so bad she couldn't sleep at night. And there was no one there to take care of her, not even to get her a glass of hot water. The list went on. I thought hearing about her suffering would make me feel something, maybe even a little pity, but I felt nothing. My heart was perfectly calm. For one simple reason. This was the life she chose. The realization was exhilarating. It meant I was truly, completely over Chloe. I decided the time was right. I called Alex. I told her I was finally in a good place, that I was ready to tell my family the wedding was off. But her reaction on the other end of the line was frantic. Who said you could cancel our wedding? She yelled in the phone. What? I stood frozen in place. The wedding took place as scheduled. I stood on the stage, dressed in a sharp, modern tuxedo, surrounded by lights and flowers. I opened my arms, ready to welcome my bride. I never, ever expected what happened next. Chloe, wearing a wedding dress, came running into the hotel ballroom from the main entrance. Her parents were right behind her. She ran onto the stage, tears streaming down her face, and grabbed my hand. Benny, are you leaving me? Are you really leaving me? She sobbed. You always said you couldn't wait to see me in a wedding dress. I'm wearing one now. Am I beautiful? Marry me, please. I'm begging you, marry me. Her crying was pitiful, enough to break anyone's heart. But the expression on my face didn't change. Chloe's father stormed onto the stage and roared at me. Ben, you little punk, who gave you permission to divorce my daughter? Her mother was even more unhinged, trying to claw at me while shrieking. You bastard. You piece of trash. My daughter gave you 7 years of her youth, and you just threw her away. You son of a bitch. I didn't respond to their insults. Instead, I turned and gave a calm nod to the wedding planner on the side of the stage. He understood immediately. The next second, the giant screen behind us lit up. Chloe froze. Her parents stared dumbfounded. On the screen were the text messages from Mark, the messages from Chloe, the photos, the videos. I still didn't say a word. I just watched the three of them. Chloe's father's face went pale. He turned and slapped his daughter hard across the face. A disgrace to the family. A total disgrace. My groomsmen, my real friends, the ones I'd lost touch with because of Chloe, rushed the stage. Amid the screams of Chloe and her mother and the dejected sighs of her father, they escorted the uninvited guests out of the ballroom. I picked up the microphone, a gentle smile on my face. Well, the clowns have left the stage, which means it's time to welcome my real bride. As our friends and family cheered, a spotlight hit the back of the ballroom, and there was Alex in a stunning wedding gown, walking slowly toward me. I was floored. I never could have imagined that Alex, my tomboy friend, could look so breathtakingly beautiful. Her skin was flawless, and her figure was more perfect than Chloe's could ever hope to be. I was still in a daze as she reached me. Her bright, dazzling smile made my heart race. She reached out and gently booped my nose. "What are you staring at, you idiot?" Coming back to my senses, I smiled softly and said, "I think I'm having some regrets." "Regrets?" Alex immediately linked her arm with mine, her voice a fierce whisper. "Let me warn you, it's too late. You're marrying me today, whether you like it or not." Ha ha ha. I laughed, a real, happy laugh, and didn't answer.